Okay, so as you guys can all see, I spoke with Miss Gibbs, or Miss Gibby, I think that's her name. She's one of your counselors, and she told me about the class. So you guys should now have the updated class schedule and everything in there. So you guys should know what time class begins, and you know how things are gonna go from here on out. So today is Wednesday. Today we're gonna have a short lecture, and I'm gonna assign you to your projects. Hopefully, you guys have started those. So what's it looking like on 3ds Max? Does everybody have it yet? Does everybody have 3ds Max?
I was just able to get it yesterday, but I haven't got a chance to play with it just yet.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. This is what I figured, or this is where I figured we would be at this moment. With it usually takes a week for everybody to kind of get on and onboarded. So you guys should have that, and from here on out, you guys are going to be responsible for those models, and that's what I'm going to kind of walk through today. Is where to find that stuff, how to get it started. Just those basic things that you guys are gonna need to know.
Wait, sir. I am using Blender, and I just wanted to double check.
So Blender, like I said before, if you are super comfortable, like if you are a very skilled Blender user, then go ahead and use Blender. But if you're not a Blender user and you would be learning it like you would be learning 3ds Max, I would suggest you get on 3ds Max, because I can help you if you run into any issues. If you run into any issues in Blender, I cannot help you. Unfortunately, I don't know Blender as well as I'd like to. I know the interface, I know it a little bit, but I can't troubleshoot any issues that you would have inside of Blender. So I would implore all of you to check out 3ds Max and use 3ds Max if you are still a beginner in other softwares. All right. Does that clarify for you?
Yes.
Okay. So if you feel comfortable and you know everything you need to know, go for it. If you don't, I would suggest you sticking with 3ds Max. All right, so last class I went through your first assignment, which was to post all of your previous works on let's see, this one. So which was to post all of your previous works on your Discord, and some of you went ahead and did that, the rest of you have not, so you guys aren't getting that grade. For that, that's that's your prerogative. If you don't feel like you need it, that's okay. But some of you have made art stations, but all of you haven't. Right? That's another thing you have to do. If you don't have an art station, there's no way I'm going to be able to check your final work. There's no way I'm going to be able to give you a grade on it. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you're not following my instructions, right? These are very simple things to do. You make 1,000 accounts. Y'all probably all have Instagram, Facebook, TikToks, and all that. I'm just asking you to make a portfolio site so that people can go and look at your stuff. You can get feedback from the community, things like that. So definitely go and make yourself an art station. You're not gonna get the full grade for it, but if you still make it, you will still get some sort of grade. It's gonna just the grading structure works in a way where if you turn it in on time, you're gonna get your full grade for it. But if you don't turn it in on time, the points reduce every day till you can't get any more points for it. And I would implore you guys, go and do this stuff, right? Like it's not rocket science. I'm not asking you to build a tower yet. I'm just asking you to create an art station, right? Add me, right? Follow me so that I know you have it, right? It gives me a notification whenever somebody makes it. And so far, only 2 people have made their art station, right? So only 2 people are going to get the full grade off the bat, right? You guys have had 2 weeks, 2 straight running weeks of doing nothing, right? Other than making a site and posting up work that you've already done, right? So I expect you guys to be more on top of this stuff. I expect you guys to be getting this stuff in, right? This is the easy part. What's it going to be like when I'm asking you to make a 3D model, right? If you can't make a simple, forum site, all right? So get on that as soon as possible. Make it, follow me, right? And then go on YouTube and do the exact same, because that's where I'm going to post all the stuff, right? And all of you guys who are saying, oh, I'm not going to be here, I'm not going to be here, right? I can tell who has seen my lectures, right? I can tell who has seen my lectures, right? So even the first class we did, right? Okay, a lot of people watched that. The last class we just did, I posted that as well, and only 4 people have seen it, even though I know there was literally only 2 people in that class that day. So already the majority of you don't even know what we did last class, and they're all posted right here, right? They're posted right here, right? And they're on my YouTube. I've told you guys where to get this stuff, so you can't fall behind. Like, this is what I don't want to happen. I don't want you guys to fall behind, and then at the last week of class, you guys are asking me, hey Ty, how can I make it up? Hey Ty, how can I still pass your class? The answer is going to be no. You can't. There's no way you're going to pass it, because you're not following the stuff. I'm trying to make this as easy as humanly possible, right? This is as easy as it can get. Even if you don't show up, the entire class is recorded for you, right? It's there for you at the click of a button. You just watch it. You can watch it at faster speed, so you can get through the class in half the time, right? But you guys have to take that initiative. You guys have to put that effort forward just to do it. And these are 2 simple classes. All we talked about was the 3ds Max interface last class. I just went through, showed where things were, right? Created a few things just so you guys got a basic understanding of it, right? And that's very important for you guys to do, to understand this stuff, right? The thing is, I don't need to learn this stuff. You guys need to. You guys need to understand how this stuff works, if not for anything other than just to pass this class. So I implore you guys, once again, go and check out these videos, right? This is the first class. This is the orientation. If you missed it, I'm pretty sure everybody watched it. It said at least 11 people watched it, so I'm pretty sure everybody in this class has seen at least the first video, so kudos to that. But the second video, this is what we did last class. I know all of you guys said, oh, I got class in 4 minutes, so all of y'all dipped, right? I wasn't mad. I'm not tripping, but you have to get that second effort and go back and watch it, right? So that the next class, you guys aren't behind the rest of the students. You guys aren't falling behind, right? I don't want a case where we're having to reiterate things that you could have easily, right, watched, asked somebody about, or been present for. That's what you do not want to happen. That's what I do not want to happen, when you have all these resources and you're still falling behind. All right, so definitely go check those out. Create your ArtStation. Follow the YouTube so you get the notifications when all those videos are up instantly, right? And you know what to do. All right. So today we're going to talk about pretty much the state of computer graphics. I have a video on it in my in that modeling and rendering lecture, but we're going to watch this video. And we're going to discuss essentially the state of 3D and, where everything is right now. And the reason is because you guys need to know where we're going, where we came from, and how you fit inside of this ecosystem, this computer graphics ecosystem. Right? Where is your place? Are you in the back end? Are you in the front end? Are you design? Are you UI? Like, what is my spot? What is my role? Where do I fit in this large ecosystem of CG graphics? All right. Let's see. Okay, so this is some new technology that's out. It's called unlimited rendering. All right, so I'm gonna place the video here. Okay.
Robert Dell, the CEO of Euclidean. In 2010, our technology appeared in most of the world's media. We had found a way to give computer graphics unlimited power. Basically, computer graphics today are made of these little flat shapes called polygons, and a lot of big companies spend a lot of money trying to have more of these little flat shapes so your graphics will look better and everything won't be quite so angular. There is a better way to do computer graphics which is used in medicine and the sciences, and that is to make everything out of tiny little atoms instead of flat panels. The problem is this particular system uses up a lot of processing power, so the more objects you have on the screen, the slower your computer will run. Having 4 or 5 detailed objects will run just fine, but you certainly can't do a level of a game. We got a lot of attention because we made the claim that we could run unlimited little 3D atoms in real time. To understand this claim, you need to consider the state of the industry. There's lots of large companies that are pouring billions of dollars into trying to increase the polygon count.
So those companies would be Nvidia, Radeon, Intel, all those gaming companies, right? Right now in the state of games, we are still using polygons, polygonal faces that describe our shape, right? These polygonal shapes are then broken down into triangles inside of the game engine, and that is how we are currently. This is our current state. This is your current state of affairs, right? And most of your all of your AAA games, all of the games that you're seeing right now on Xbox that have 3D graphics, they're using polygons. No one is currently using point cloud data. I like to do this just so you guys know what the future is for us, like where we want to be, right? Where we want to be is in this state where we can create with these atoms that exist, right? So that, because if you create with atoms instead of polygons, you're closely representing real life, because we ourselves are made of atoms and these little dots, right? That's what we are made of, right? We're all made of atoms and energy. And if you can replicate that, well, you're going to have the most realistic looking 3D, most realistic representation of things in our video games.
At present, they seem to be able to increase it by about 25% a year. If any of these large companies was to suddenly come out with 10 times more polygons than their competitors, that would be enormous news. But we didn't increase the geometry count by 10 times, or 100 times, or 1,000 times. We increased it so far we could abandon polygons altogether and move to little atoms and run them in unlimited quantities. If what we said was true, then it was the largest breakthrough since 3D graphics began. 2 months after announcing it, we declined all further interviews and then completely disappeared. Most people said the technology was too unbelievable and was probably never real to begin with. It's been 1 year since our disappearance, and a lot of people are asking what's happened to us. Well, we're not finished yet, but we'll give you an update as to our present level of advancement. We've made a little island. The island is 1 kilometer square. This island is made of 21,062,352,435,000 polygons. In the graphics industry, everyone's used to using polygons, so we thought we'd build a Polygon Converter. By converting polygons to unlimited detailed point cloud data, you can then run them in unlimited quantities. We've converted them at a rate of 64 atoms per cubic millimeter. If you're not sure how small a cubic millimeter is, that's a rate of 1 million atoms per cubic inch. If you're still not sure how small that is, these are grains of dirt. In fact, there are 15 million converted polygons in every square meter of dirt, which means in 1 cubic meter of dirt, we have more polygons than you will find in any game that doesn't use procedural generation.
So, this technology is still far, far away from being actualized and put into production. But it's very interesting for you guys to know what the industry has and what people are trying to do, right? Another type of technology that exists other than polygons is voxels, which is kind of a blend between polygons and point cloud data, right? And what they're saying is that if we can get to a point where we are representing actual objects as atoms, we can get everything to look way more realistic, right? You guys have noticed in games where things, you know, if you're playing a video game and maybe you're flying in GTA or something, let me use that as an example, and you'll see buildings start to populate out of nowhere. They're just popping in out of nowhere, right? That's because the game can't handle that much geometry. It can't handle all of that stuff at once, so it has to pop in those new things as you get closer to the distance. There's like a calling distance, C-U-L-L, call. It's a call distance, so that whenever you get to a certain feet away from the geometry, well, it's going to populate it with that. And even then, it's doing something called MIP mapping. M-I-P-M-A-P-P-I-N-G. MIP mapping. What that is it's replacing those maps with lower resolution, and the closer you get, it's replacing those lower resolution textures with higher resolution textures and higher resolution objects, right? So you have these are three terms that you guys should know: LODs, which is level of detail, MIP maps, and call distance. Right, that's the current state of what we have right now, right? We do a lot of tricks with calls, we do a lot of tricks with LODs and MIP mapping, right? The level of detail. So artists in the CG world, artists in 3D, what they'll do is they'll make 3 different levels. Like if you look at this tree right here, they would make 3 different versions of this tree. One that is good whenever you know, that's like probably the highest poly count it has, right? That's for when you're really close to it. But the further you get away from it, they're going to reduce it. They might cut it in half if you're certain feet away. And if you're really far away, it might be like 3 polygons or 4 polygons with some like 512 maps on there, right? So these are the tricks that we have to do to help computers, to help software, because not everybody's going to have a ultra PC, and even then the engine itself can't handle that much. So you have to do things to up the performance of your game. All right, let's continue the video.
Getting a lot better. If you compare Crysis 1 to Crysis 2, you see nearly double the polygon count, but things still don't look realistic. That's not the fault of the artist. In fact, we're eager to see what happens when we give our technology to real artists in the games industry. We played with it ourselves, of course, and we came up with this. But remember, we're far from the world's best artists, so it'll be very interesting to see where our technology ends up going.
Okay, so if you look here, as a professional, there's a few things that I notice, right? There's no real shadows going on with this technology, right? There, you know, it looks, the texture on the tree looks very gummy, it's very blurry, right? It's not as, you know, high resolution as I would teach you guys how to make it. So there's a lot of little things, like there's no contact shadows, and so it looks like these things are just like, they're kind of floating almost, right? They look like they're floating. So these are little things that your eye will pick up the better you guys get at this stuff. Like there's no contact shadow. There's no actual ambient occlusion going on in a lot of this stuff. All right.
There's more synchronization with other players in the industry. Our Polygon Converter converts things straight from 3ds Max, Maya, and other 3D programs, so it's pretty much business as usual for the artist. He just has total freedom now, and there is no such thing as a polygon budget. Polygon counts are pretty low today in games. If we look at things like palm trees, and they compare them to, say, a palm tree made with unlimited detail, our technology, we can see that the polygon budget was pretty restrictive. So by removing that burden from artists' lives, I'm sure we'll make a few friends. As for our supporters who play games, your graphics are about to get better. Better by a factor of about 100,000 times. 100,000 is a pretty big number, perhaps we're exaggerating, so we'll let you be the judge of that. The ground in games today consists of a very nice photo on the ground and some blades of grass sticking up from it. This is our ground in unlimited detail, and obviously even the grains of dirt, as mentioned before, are real geometry. So if you look around, the leaves, the twigs, the blades of grass, all those little groundy type things are now all real. Your game environments will also be real. When I say real, I mean made of little atoms, just like our real world. Your game environments up until now have been a bunch of tricks to deal with the low polygon budget. Things like sprites, which are always facing you, or objects in the distance, which are just really flat pieces of cardboard, or things like a cactus, where it's very, very detailed on one side, but we don't want to waste polygons, so the other side looks like an octopus tentacle. Sometimes objects far away just disappear into the fog, and other times they just pop up as they swap between different models. I'm sure in the future our children will look back with amusement on these things in the same way that we look back on blocky 3-color graphics. Getting back to our island demo, I hope you will forgive the repetitious graphics. Please remember we're a technology company, we're not a games company. To have a look at a few individual items, if we look here at this rock, I hope you will permit me to say it looks rather real. That's because it is. It's actually been scanned in from the real world. Scanning technology that brings things in from the real world has existed for quite some time. The problem was what it produced was so high in geometry you could never use it in games. In the future, graphics will be divided into two categories, fiction and non-fiction. What we mean is, if I want to make Super Mario or a dragon or a unicorn, I can't go out into the forest, tranquilize them and laser scan them. They're not there. So I need an artist to do that. So the artwork that doesn't exist we call fiction. That means it's made by an artist. This tree is fiction. It's been made by an artist. It's not laser scanned in. The rock, on the other hand, is non-fiction, and the cactus is a hybrid of the two. To make this cactus, we didn't have any cactuses that looked this way in our little part of Australia. The cactuses that we had weren't quite as interesting. So we took the pieces of them, we twirled them around to make circles, and then we added some dry leaves on top, which we changed the color of. If we were a little bit more creative, we would have taken the wings of a swan and put them on a tiger, but we didn't think of that at the time. This island demonstration shows our present level of technology, but that level is far from complete. For example, at present, our island has only 2 shades of shadows. Just after we made this demonstration, we progressed to having multiple shades of shadow. So in our next demonstration, you're going to find the lighting is going to look a lot better. We're also running at 20 frames a second in software, where we have versions that are running much faster than that, which aren't quite complete yet. Some months from now, our software development kit will be complete, and it will be ready to be handed over to the game's developers. Until then, we're all working as hard as we can, and we hope to produce a product that our fans and supporters will find acceptable. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this presentation.
Okay, so for a game to run really well, especially on a platform like maybe like a VR headset, you need at the very least to not get what they call vestibular mismatch or vestibular sickness. You need a good 60 frames per second, a stable 60 a stable 60 frames per second to really run that. All right, so that is the difference between that technology and polygons. So now let's look at the difference between voxels and polygons.
Trillion cubes in real time. Atoms are ultra-small voxels, previously known as gigavoxels. Atoms allow us to incorporate subdivisions, polygons, point cloud data, and other 3D graphics into sparse voxel octrees. Okay, how about this? Think of the difference between 2D graphics from the Atari versus the Super Nintendo's 16-bit graphics.
Oh yeah.
They are still the same graphics, but SNES packs more blocks in the same space. Hybrid engines allow the use of polygons and voxels. For example, EverQuest Next. They use polygons for the character models and voxels for the landscape. Voxels, NURBs, subdivisions, and other 3D graphics started with polygons. Polygons were chosen because they were the easiest to edit, shape, import, and animate. They did not win because they are the best. Polygons won because they are cost-effective and cheap.
Alright, yeah, I want you guys to remember that. They are cost-effective and cheap, right? It's like a lot of magic. That's what I call what we do. What we do is we're essentially magicians. We take crap and we dazzle people. We fluff. We do what we got to do to make things happen, right? We find problems and we solve those problems. The eventuality of our work is that we want to leave polygons behind because, well, they're not the best representation of life. The most accurate representation we will ever get is atoms, right? And if we have things that are represented in atoms, well, things are going to look super real, and your games are going to look a million times better, right? I can't wait for the day where I don't have to worry about polygon counts and poly counts and you know, making sure my edge loops are this, and you know, I can't wait for that day. But till then, you guys still have to take this class and understand how polygons are used, what they're used for, why they're used the way they are, and the benefits and the drawbacks to them. Right, so you don't go into it with some preconceived notions that polygons can't do. All right.
If we stayed with the old 4x3 televisions, if we never invented normal maps, tessellation, and real-time shadows, then yes, polygons would be enough. When our resolution increased to 1080p, when more detail and effects were added in, we hit the wall. You stress everything 2 to 4 times greater than 720p. The result is older games that used to run at 50 to 60 frames a second now run at 30. Computer AI and gameplay also take a hit. Look at a sheet of paper. We'll say this flat piece of paper is one face. A box would be 6 faces. Today, games process around 1 million faces.
They process way more now. This video's a little old, so, but, you know, you get the point.
Atoms can push over 10 trillion cubes in real time, and 100 quintillion is the current barrier. Nevertheless, this isn't an accurate way to quantify detail, because 1 million faces is enough to make a photoreal hallway. The problem is when polygons make anything that isn't simple, like plants or hair. But the true revolution isn't the graphics, it's performance. Imagine games like StarCraft 2 running 10 to 100 times better. Cutscenes that take companies like Blizzard weeks to render become instantly playable. If we run the same games in atoms in 4K resolution, 144 FPS shouldn't be an issue. No need for a $3,000 PC. Nor forced to stream console games at 4K resolution over the internet with recurring lag. Companies could reduce 50 to 90% of their budgets.
Yes.
Everything has limits. The current is file size. The higher the detail, the more data needed. Drive capacity and compression methods are quickly making this a non-issue. The next sets of hurdles are floating objects, blobbiness, artifacting through generation, and weird popping. The final problem is smooth animation. Think of your skin being stretched. That's smooth. Old PS1 games are rigid. Rigid is not a problem. Smooth animation can be used in voxels, but the GPU is pushed far more than in polygons. Several companies, including ours, claim we can overcome this barrier. Yet until this is tested and demonstrated, polygons are still the best choice.
Yep.
Progress has been slow due to the few people working on atoms. It's very math and render testing intensive. Despite the current situation, these graphics are inevitable. Hybrid and voxel engines are already being used, such as Voxel Farm, Mojang, Microsoft, Sony, NVIDIA, and many others. At Vercus, we say progress is measured in breakthroughs, not in time. When atom engines are ready, they will be demonstrated in games like Ithaca.
Okay, so you guys should have a pretty, this probably feels like, okay, this guy's kind of going out of nowhere. We're supposed to be learning about polygons, we're learning about voxels and stuff like that. But it's important for you guys to know the current state of affairs, right? The current state of the industry. I know you guys probably don't research it much, but this is something that I always think about. And, I'm one of those guys. I feel like I'm going to be like 60 or 50 or something whenever all this technology finally comes out, and I'm not going to be doing 3D and stuff anymore. But, we have to get there. We have to give ourselves the time to get there. All right. So with that said, I want to take us to the assignment that you guys are going to have. Your first 3D model. Your first 3D model is going to be this coin, this Mario coin. And you can find that Mario coin on my YouTube channel. Here it is right here. Right, so you guys should have 3ds Max by now. I'm not going to go over the 3ds Max interface again because that is something we did last class. We did that last class, and if you need to watch the video, I have several videos on there. I have at least 2 or 3 videos introducing you to 3ds Max. So if you get a chance, go and watch that. What you guys are going to have is these videos that you guys need to go watch to go and just start modeling it. And even in this video, I go over some of the intro stuff for 3ds Max. So there's 3 or 4 different parts to this, right? And whenever you guys are done with your part for the day, wherever you finish for the day, you're going to take a screen grab, describe what you did, how far you got, if you had any issues, and you're going to post that into your student threads, right? You're going to let me know where you are, what you did, and if you're having any issues. All right? What I'm going to do throughout these classes is I'm going to start showing you little techniques to getting different things to happen. I'm going to show you how to hinge from a joint to extrude. I'm going to show you guys how to do different functions inside of 3ds Max that might speed up your workflow, show you different hotkeys, little things like that. All these videos are already here, and I will take a chance to expand on them, but I will not be going over them again because the video's already there. It's already here for you to go watch, go model, and then go. So, and what I'll do is next class, I will, pull up your stuff, and then I might even open 3ds Max with you so you guys I can walk you through some of the issues that you guys will be having, right? So for the rest of the day, that is what you guys' assignment is. You guys are gonna you're gonna start modeling this Mario coin, right? You're gonna go to the channel, right? Follow, hit that notification bell so you know when a new lecture has popped up, because I'm going to post this lecture on there. Right? I'm going to post this lecture in my Modeling and Rendering 1 lecture, so don't forget to do that. All right? So that is it for today. Does anybody have any questions for me that I can answer before we adjourn class today? Anybody out there? Is there anybody out there?
No question. I didn't know we had to make a Mario coin, and I thought it was due this Monday, so I actually ended up making just a regular coin. I also ended up making a flag as well, just at one point. So I just wanted to know if we could just turn that in. Show.
No, that's not the assignment. Okay.
No, I know, but we could turn the Mario coin.
You still, what was the question?
Oh no, I was just making sure that like we do have to make a Mario coin because I thought the coin project was due this Monday, and so I ended up making a
Oh,
coin.
that's cool. That's good practice. But I want everybody to model the Mario coin because that is going to take us through the high poly, the low poly, and the texturing process, right? And every single point of it is important, right? You guys will, by the end of this class, you'll understand why I teach you guys the way I'm teaching you guys, right? The most important part of this is I don't want to give you guys something too crazy that you guys can't do. But you guys need to understand the process from getting from a high poly to a low poly and then putting it inside a game, right? I want to teach you guys that process. I'm probably not going to get to go over putting it in a game, but you're going to, by the end of this class, you guys should understand how to make something that is ready to go inside of a game, right? That's the purpose of this class. And for you guys to do that, you're going to have to follow the tutorials that I've set up for you. Right, you're gonna have to look at those and okay, this is what he's doing, this is what he's doing, and then we will talk about that. So if you modeled another coin, that's perfect. Post that up into your thread. Post that in your thread so I can give you some feedback on your flag. Anything you model outside of this class, I'm telling you, it's very, very important for you to do that. Right, little things like that. That is, take initiative. Right, this is how I learned to be a really good modeler. When I was in school, they would assign us work and I'd do whatever the homework was. But then I would go home and I would just start modeling everything on my desk, right? If I had a lamp right here, I would model the lamp. This microphone, I would model the microphone. I would model my laptop, my mouse, my keyboard, the table. I would model everything around me. And these are models nobody would even ever see. Nobody would know I made these models. But I'm practicing, right? I'm practicing. I'm getting used to modeling. I'm getting familiar with the interface. Right, over and over and over, right? Because what you guys are gonna find out is most of the learning you're gonna do or you're gonna encounter is gonna be by yourself. When you're really pushing this stuff by yourself, when you're by your lonesome, right? Looking at work, looking at 3D, looking at forums, watching videos, learning from other people other than me, other than your classmates, seeking that information out. That's how you guys are going to be expert at this. Not just this, anything you want to do, even if this isn't what you want to do in your life. I will implore you that do not just stick to what your teacher is telling you. Never, ever, 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 ever just go to class and then do that work in class and then say, okay, well, I'm done. That's it. I've learned everything I can learn, because that's not how learning works. Right? Teachers are there to facilitate the learning. It is up to you to go out to the world and seek that knowledge and give it to yourself. Right? That's, if there's one thing that I've learned about, just getting better at anything, it's something I gotta try it, fail, mess it up, fail, try it, fail, then maybe I'll understand it. Right? And everybody's different. Everybody learns and understands things at a different pace. So, Raymond might learn in a day or two. But for David, he might take 3 days. But that doesn't mean he doesn't know that same information, right? It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. The most important part is that you get there, right? And the only way you're going to get there is by trying, failing, and failing. Don't be scared to break 3ds Max. Don't be scared to just model a bunch of random nonsense, throw geo in different places, and post it and see what feedback you get. Because that's how you guys are going to learn. That's how you guys are going to improve, is by trying this stuff over and over and over and over again. So do not underestimate that just even you modeling the coin. Now, don't you feel more okay? I at least know the basis for getting started. I at least understand, okay, I need to make a cylinder, do this, extrude, you're getting little bits of knowledge. I think about it like a video game, right? The only way you know you're progressing in a video game is if you're encountering obstacles, right? You're not making it anywhere in a video game if you're not encountering obstacles. Right? The moment I know I'm going in the right direction because there's little goobas coming at me. There's little fireballs, there's little bullets and stuff coming at me, right? There's plants that I have to traverse. But if I'm going the other way, if I'm not making any progress, I'm not gonna run into any obstacles. There's gonna be nothing. right? But if the moment I start running into obstacles, I know I'm going in the right direction, because that means there's something on the other side that the programmer, the game wants me to know. There's a knowledge, there's something, there's a treasure out on the other side. So I implore you guys, fail early, fail fast, right? The faster you guys can get to that first failure, the faster you guys can get to that failure, the faster that you guys can get to the other side. The faster that you guys can start, doing the cool stuff, making the weapons and making the tanks and all the cool stuff that you want to make. But you gotta mess up now. You gotta mess up stuff now. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be hard, right? You're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be mad. Like I'm just trying to be honest with y'all, right? I'm trying to be honest with y'all as much as I can, because I had some preconceived notions going into it. I had did a little bit of modeling. I'm not even gonna call what I used to do modeling before I started, right? Like I animated like a little basketball going into a hoop, and that was like my whole forte into animation. And I thought I was ready for Disney. You should have seen me. I'm like, whoo, this boy, boom. I came to school and everybody was better than me. Like everybody was better than me. It was crazy, right? And then I realized there was a knowledge gap that I had, and I had to clear that knowledge gap. I had to bridge that divide that I had. And what I did to do that was I would do my homework, and the moment I left school, I'd run home, get on my computer, boom, boom, boom. I'm modeling constantly, all day, till my friends coming over. They hanging out. I'm modeling, right? My friend, I'm modeling. What you doing? I'm modeling. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm modeling something in 3ds Max. I'm understanding how this works, right? I'm messing around here. I'm building planes, right? I'm doing things, right? This is what you guys should be doing to learn this stuff, right? You should just, if you have free time, just be moving around, just, right? Because you're going to be like, oh, what does this do? Boom. This makes a cylinder. Oh, okay. What does this do? All right. Then convert some stuff to an editable poly. Just little things like that. This kind of stuff will get you a lot further than just watching videos, right? Because at this point, you're going to model something. You're going to be like, okay, I'm stuck. How do I figure that out? And the journey that you're going to take to figuring that out is going to be what's going to take you to the next level. It's going to be what makes you better than your classmate, right? When you encounter issues and you solve those issues, oh, you feel so much better about it. You feel like you the king boss, king tut. You're like, oh, you ran into that issue. Oh, let me handle that for you right quick. And it's gonna build your confidence up. But if you guys are waiting, right, till every class to learn something, you guys are gonna fall behind. You're not gonna have fun with this. You're not gonna want to do this very much, and you're gonna find a reason to flame out. You're gonna say, oh, the teacher was too this, or the class was too that, or you're gonna make excuses. But if you're really giving yourself a chance, if you're really trying, if you're really attempting this stuff and failing over it, I'm telling you, it's okay to fail. I will have more sympathy for you if you try and fail than if you don't try at all. If I see you trying and you're posting and you say, Ty, I'm not getting this. What'd you do right here? This is da-da-da-da-da. And you end up messing it up and it don't work, I will still respect you, and I will still probably look more favorably on your grade than if somebody just, I didn't do it, and da-da-da-da-da, and, I was gonna do it, but this happened, and then my dog ate my laptop, and then, I was outside. I don't want none of that. I don't want to hear it. This is what I'm playing. This is me playing you the world's smallest violin every time I hear one of them excuses. This is me playing you the world's smallest violin. We all got problems. It's not like you're the only one in a pandemic. We all in a pandemic with COVID affecting all of us. We all at home, right? We all dealing with this, right? To different levels. We all have to run the race, though, right? We might not all start at the same spot, but we all have a race to run. We all have instructions to give. We all have stuff to learn. And if you keep making excuses for yourself as to why this isn't happening to me, woe is me, oh, my life is hard, you ain't gonna get nowhere, right? So practice, guys. I'm telling you, you guys are gonna feel so much better about it when you learn stuff on your own than if somebody's spoon feeding it to you, right? If somebody's spoon feeding you information, you guys are just gonna feel so much. You're like, oh, okay. But if you learn it on your own, you bring it back to class, you're gonna be like, oh, what was that question you had, Mr. Ty? Oh, I got the answer right here. Boom, boom, boom. Right? What was that? Oh, I got the answer right here. Right? So I want you guys to get to that point. I want you guys to get to that level and build your confidence up. Right? It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. It is not okay to not try. It is not okay. Right? And trust me. Any excuse you can come up with, I already came up with. I was that student. If you think you were a worse student than me, trust me. I'll bring my mama on here to tell y'all. You will not find a worse student than I was. So any of the excuses you could come up with, any of that, this happened, this. Been there, done that. Where's your homework? That's how it's gonna be. Been there, done that. Where's your homework at? All right? Because you guys have all the time in the world. You guys have a class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You got Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, Sunday, and this class maybe lasts an hour. All right? So that's what I want you guys to do for this week is start working on your coin. That is your first assignment. Does anybody have any other questions for me about the assignment or what's required of you? Right? If nobody has any questions, you guys are more than free to go and start your project. You guys are more than free. If you have any questions, definitely ask now. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Huh?
At the end of the day, you just want us to post a screenshot of what we've done so far and explain what's happened, right?
Yes. So all right, let me walk you guys through that so you guys understand that process. So in 3ds Max here, all right, so let's say today in my coin modeling process, I made this. Right? I made this. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I got, Mr. Ty. Don't just do the snipping tool on your computer. 3ds Max has a feature right here in your tools, right here in tools. You can just drop this guy down, right? Where it says preview and grab viewport, you can capture a still image. You just name it something and then you grab it. So it is going to grab for you that viewport. And from here, you're going to click this guy right here. Do you get this? If anybody can tell me what this little guy is, I will give you an extra point on your first assignment. This little guy right here, the save button. Does anybody know what it's actually called? This is going to age you guys if you guys know it.
Button of save.
Oh no, this is a floppy disk. This is a floppy disk right here, and this floppy disk is what you guys probably know now as the USB, right? It's a device that stores data. This is how we used to store data in games back in the day. I used to have Prince of Persia on my little floppy disk. I'd insert that little diskette in there, boom, I'm good to go. Right? This is a floppy disk. Ask your parents if they know what a floppy disk is. Ask your parents to show you what a floppy disk is. But that floppy disk is your save button. You hit that save button and you save it to wherever you have your folder in on your desktop. It's going to open this up for you. You're going to save it as a JPEG image. JPEG or PNG work just fine, right? Just for edification, just save it as a JPEG. You name it appropriately, coin model underscore WIP. Does anybody know what WIP stands for?
Work in progress.
Work in progress. You're going to name it coin model work in progress. You're going to save that. And that is what you're going to post to your form. You're going to post that and you're going to say, this is the issue that I'm having with my model. Or this is as far as I've gotten with my model. Tomorrow, I'm going to continue video 2. Da-da-da-da-da. Explain it, whatever you got to do, right? 1 or 2 sentences. I don't need a paragraph. I just need a sentence or 2 letting me know where you are if you're running into any issues so that the next class I can address it as appropriately as I can. All right, so does everybody understand that process? If you don't, I'm going to post this video on YouTube, and you guys can go watch that exact part again. Does everybody understand it? Any questions? Any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, you guys are dismissed for the day. Remember, 3D model, start modeling your coin, post your stuff, get on ArtStation, and that's it. You're good to go. It was nice having you guys today. I mean, this full class, I'm digging it. Get in the forums, talk to each other, chat, build some camaraderie. That's what I like to see. All right. If that's it, you guys have a great rest of your days. You guys should have like at least 30 minutes before your next class so you can unwind, play some video games in between if that's what you guys like to do, or do your homework. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? Do your stuff. Other than that, man, you guys are good to go.
Have a good day, sir.
Have a good one, guys.